Hello, thank you for joining me today. I just want to do just a simple, short, easy, gentle practice for those days that you want to do yoga but you don't really have the energy for it. These are going to be more of the types of yoga that you can complement your day, maybe help you to sleep better at night, or maybe get you motivated to do the things that you must do in your day today. And so we'll just start in just a nice, easy seated position. I have a blanket. This is a beach towel just folded underneath of me, and I have a block on either side of me. And we always start our practice with just a nice, easy seated position, maybe palms facing up towards the ceiling, hands rested to the tops of your thighs. So just checking in for a moment. And just noticing how you feel, how your breath feels here in your body. And not worrying about changing anything. We have time for that. But for now, we're just going to accept as we are. And take a moment before we begin our movements to just thank ourselves. Because we did it. We rolled our mat out today, and sometimes that's the hardest part, especially maybe if you're not feeling your best, but you know you need to move today. So I hope this practice brings you some comfort. So from here, we'll just start to find some little tilting back and forth of the pelvis. So we'll just kind of shift forward and back. So we find just this easy movement of just tilting the pelvis back and forth. And if you kind of notice, as you tilt the pelvis forward, your spine starts to round. So you can start to kind of find a little bit more rounding of your spine when you tilt. So we just find cat-cow. So we'll start to open our heart, open up towards the ceiling when we're tilting the pelvis back. And we'll start to round into our spine as we're tilting our pelvis forward. And you can bring hands, palms down if that gives you some more stability here, and hands anywhere you'd like. They can kind of move with you depending on how much you're moving in these movements with me. And we'll just continue. Let's do one more. So we'll finish this one that we're working on. Maybe tucking the chin. And then we'll make our way after this exhale back to our seated position. And then just kind of check in here. So notice how you feel here. And then we'll just find a little simple forward fold. So you can walk your fingertips out to the side, or you can walk your fingertips forward. You decide. And since it's my first forward fold of my practice today, I'm just going to come down to forearms here. So that can be up a little bit higher here, but just that we're getting this length into our low back, but we're not trying to accomplish anything other than just a neutral spine and just trying to get some length here. You can allow the head and neck to be kind of soft if you'd like. And I'm kind of settled into forearms. I think forearms are feeling good for me today, but that's just me. Everyone's different here. So we'll start to make our way back up. So just walk your hands back up, coming up to your seated position. We'll inhale, arms up overhead, keeping our shoulders nice and plugged in. We'll exhale and reach over towards our right side, finding length along our left side of our body. And we'll do this a couple of times. So we'll inhale, we'll shift up. Exhale, we shift over. And we just continue this. So we inhale, we shift up, and exhale over towards the right side again. We'll do the left side one more time, and then we'll do something different on the next round. So we exhale, we reach over. And you don't have to have blocks here if you don't feel they're needed. This time when we exhale over towards our right, we're going to stay here for a moment. So we just allow ourselves to be nice and long here. So we're going to kind of focus the length here in the side of our body. And we can kind of ground our knees down just a little bit and see how that feels for you. See if that creates a little bit more length, maybe drawing the sits bones down. And then we'll draw our belly muscles in. I'm going to use my right fingertips for some support here and make my way up. I'll exhale left side when you're ready. Finding length here. So again, just kind of drawing knees down, kind of drawing the right sit bone down a little bit, so that will just kind of make some more space here for your lengthening. Then we'll make our way up, so you can use hands for support to help you up. And once you're here, we'll start to find one more forward fold. So when you're ready, again, you can walk fingertips out to the side. You can walk fingertips forward. And we'll slowly start to inch our hands closer towards us, so take your time in doing so, no rush here. We'll take our blocks out to the side, so we're going to take them out of the way, but we're going to go ahead and put them where we need them in a little bit. So I'm going to take one, so this is where my head will be in just a little while, so I'm going to put my blocks so that they're reachable on either side of me. And I'm going to take my blanket with me. We're just going to come to hands and knees for just a moment, little cat-cows. We did them in that seated position, and if hands and knees isn't comfortable for you today, feel free to go back to that seated position with me to practice them, or you can just fast forward until we get down to our backs. But from here, so sometimes just being on hands and knees isn't all that comfortable, but we'll take our blanket and bring some support underneath of our knees, and we'll have our wrists right underneath of our shoulders, knees right out of our hips. And we're just going to do this kind of more of a relaxing variation of cat-cow. So we'll slowly start to shine the light in the center of our chest forward. So I'm kind of like gazing just straight, kind of at an angle out in front of me. So I'm not trying to look forward. I'm kind of looking at the horizon. And then when you're ready, we slowly lower our hips down towards our heels. So my head and neck kind of goes relaxed. You can tuck the chin if you'd like here. In this inhale, we shift back forward. Once you're about over the hands, shine the light in the center of your chest forward again. Exhale, we lower our hips down towards our heels. Head and neck goes nice and relaxed. Or again, you can tuck the chin. In this inhale, we make our way up, and we shine the light in the center of our chest forward. We exhale, we lower down. So we just continue this back and forth movement. Nice and easy, just taking our time. And this last one, so we'll find our inhale, we'll shift forward, and then our exhale, we'll shift back, and we'll stay down this time. So you can let the hips sink down and all the way down towards the heels, or you can lift your heels up or your hips up and bring your forehead down to your mat. So you can choose. So this one's kind of like a in between a puppy and a child's pose, or you can sink the hips all the way down towards the heels, maybe even widening the knees a little bit here, and then folding forward, forehead rests down. We slowly start to inch our way back up. We make our way back to our table once more, and then we'll make our way down to our backs. But just before you do so, let's take this blanket here and kind of fold it in half so that it's close by to us. If we need it, it's ready. And I just have it next to or right underneath of my blocks, and I'll make my way down to my back. And once you get here, you can just take your knees in towards your chest, and we'll find just kind of hugging our knees in. So you can kind of maybe go side to side here, drawing the knees in, maybe massaging into your low back, or you can make some circles if you'd like. And maybe go that opposite direction. We'll find from here some stillness. We'll bring arms into a T position. So you might find your blocks might need to shift down a little bit. And when you're ready, we'll slowly bring our knees over towards our left side. So blocks are really nice here. You can bring your block underneath of your knees. Sometimes block between the knees is also nice. And then there's also the option to bring your blanket between your knees and your ankles. So any of those variations are perfect. And then once you're here, we just kind of allow ourselves to find ourselves arms into a T position. And you can, if you feel good here, you feel ready and relaxed, you can bring your gaze over towards your right side. We'll slowly start to bring our gaze back up towards the ceiling. We're going to draw our belly muscles in to kind of lift and kind of press down into our arms to lift our knees up. And then I have my blanket here, so I'm just going to leave it here. And then we'll slowly bring our knees over towards the right side. So block handy here, bringing your knees over. So you may or may not need this for this side, and that's okay. We just slowly shift into our position, and then you can bring your gaze over towards your left side when you're ready. Just being completely relaxed here. So using that support with your props so that you can be relaxed in your pose. We'll slowly start to bring our gaze back up towards the ceiling, and you can kind of use your arms, you can kind of press your arms into your mat, draw your belly muscles in to help you lift your knees, lift your legs, and then you can take your blanket out to the side and just set it anywhere you choose so it's close by just in case you need it again. It's always nice to have. It's harder to find it if it's not close by. And then we'll release into our knees. So from here, we'll just do a really gentle bridge pose. So we'll take our feet and we'll bring them in as close in towards our buttocks as we can. So as close as touching is perfect. Doesn't have to be though, just finding that spot that feels good for you. Arms roll, or arms just to your side, shoulders roll down so that we're nice and open in our hearts. And fingers spread apart, palms facing down. And then we'll engage our buttocks and lift our hips. We'll slowly lower back down. Stay strong in your buttocks until you're all the way back down. Once you're here, once you're settled, we'll take our right ankle and cross it over our left thigh. And if you need to kind of heel toe your left foot out, maybe you're forward about a half an inch to an inch, that's perfect here. And we'll just start some movement here. So we're just gonna shift and rock our legs, or our top leg from side to side. I'm gonna take my arms more like in an upside down V shape, just so that I have some stability here. And you kind of determine how much you want to get into this. So you can just kind of keep this subtle and just kind of go side to side if that's all that feels that it's really needed for this. Or you can make it real big and kind of really shift right to left. And if you need a little bit more work, you can always pause, so make sure that you're back to a flat back. You can lift your left foot up and then do the same thing. So it's a little bit more work because you have to hold your left thigh towards you, but just finding that side to side movement again. And you can kind of determine how strongly you want to do this. So it comes a little bit more of a workout, so that may not be what you're needing today. So you may want to return your foot down to your mat. But if this is what you need, this is perfect. We'll start to find some stillness after this round. And we'll release and let our left foot come back down. We'll cross our right leg over our left leg. So it's just like a cross-legged position. So if you were just sitting in a chair and you have your legs crossed, we'll slowly start to bring our knees over towards our left side. So I like to take my block for this one and bring it to that medium height so that it's good support underneath of my top knee. And then you can just kind of settle in. It's our twist here, so we just kind of settle into our twist. Hands wherever's comfortable. I like to bring my gaze over towards my right side. And if you'd like, so my right hand is still that, my right arm is upside down V shape. And if you'd like, my left hand, I like to take it to my right hip and just kind of draw my hand down to the knee a few times. And this just kind of encourages me to just relax a little bit further and find length where I might be needing it, because this length is going to get me a little bit more twist. Kind of mothering yourself here. Just one more breath here. And then we'll find our gaze shifting back up towards the ceiling. And this one, we'll just unravel our legs. It's much easier to move them that way. And then we'll bring our feet back flat to our mat. We'll bring our arms back down to our sides. You can always not do the bridge and just bring knees in towards your chest if you'd rather that pose. And we'll just keep drawing our heels towards us. And then we'll bring our hands, arms, and shoulders so that we're rolling them down so they're just to our sides. My thumbs are just beneath my buttocks. Engage your buttocks and lift your hips. And then we'll lower back down. Stay strong in your buttocks until you're all the way down. Then left ankle crosses over your right thigh. And then same thing. So I'm going to shift my arms just a little bit out of the way. I'm going to shift things out of the way so I can have my arms flat, and then I can shift my top leg side to side. So just that rocking. And again, you can kind of get into it as much as you choose. Don't feel like there's a right way or a wrong way. So if you're more right here and you're not really able to make these big movements, that's okay. We're just finding what works for us today. So just side to side, what works for you. And if you'd like, you can find stillness, lift your right foot up off the floor, and then shift from side to side. Again, this one takes a little bit more energy, so you might want to feel like you're just going just so that you feel good. So if this side maybe is more tender, give it a break. No need to push through. Just find what feels good. We'll do one more round here. And then we'll find some stillness. And we'll release our right foot down. We'll cross our right leg over, our left leg over our right. And then we'll start to find our twist over towards this right side. So we shift ourselves over so that you find your top knee is nice and supported by your block. And you can keep this upside down V shape with arms, or you can take right hand to left hip and just kind of draw it down a couple times. And gaze can be over towards your left side. We'll slowly start to bring our gaze back towards the ceiling. We'll unravel our legs. We'll make our way back to our mat. We'll do one more bridge. Again, you can always just do knees in towards your chest if you prefer it. And we'll come to our bridge pose. So we'll find our arms just to our sides, shoulders roll down. So thumbs just beneath your buttocks and heels in as close to your buttocks as you can. And then we'll engage our buttocks and lift our hips. And slowly we'll lower down. And we can draw our knees in towards our chest one more time. Then release your knees. We'll bring our feet flat to our mat. And then we'll find ourselves in a reclined position for a moment, and we'll just rest here. So you can let your toes just fall out to the side, let your arms relax down. Maybe palms facing up towards the ceiling. If you need to add some support underneath of your neck or knees, that's always an option here too. And just taking a little rest here with our clear mind. We'll start to make some tiny movements, wiggling fingers and toes. So in a regular practice, I would always have you do about 7 to 10 minutes in final relaxation. And if you need that full final relaxation today, I have another video that's just for that purpose so that you can add that to your practice instead. And from here, we'll start to bring our feet flat to the floor, our knees bent, and then we'll draw our knees in towards our chest. We'll gently sway gently from side to side. Just reawakening our body. And then our right arm goes up above our head. We'll roll over towards our right side to elevate our heart. And we'll just rest here and pause for just a moment. And then eventually making our way up to a seated position. I'm going to go ahead and take my blanket and bring it underneath of me again. And just so that I have it for some added support. And we'll just check in here. So just noticing how you feel here. And how this compares with how you felt when you first got on your mat today. And just taking full responsibility because you've created this change. So thank your body for the work that it does, but don't forget to thank yourself for taking this time to nourish your body. And I thank you very much for joining me today. I always enjoy it. Thank you.